Hi guys, it's me Justin Lodge, and today I'm doing a video for you guys today. Today I'm the first time tag. It should be fun. I got my handy dandy laptop here so I can read you guys the questions and then answer them for you guys. This is the first time, as in first time I got things, not first time, you know, the dirty. So let's get started. What was your first car? I have not have a car yet. I'm doing my L's now, but I haven't got my first car yet. First person who cared more about their well-being than your own. I don't know actually. I don't think I've ever had that problem before, so I never know. When was your first public speaking success? I was never ever really good at public speaking. I did public speaking in school because you had to do a speech now, and that was based on a grade. I'm the worst public speaker. I can stand up on stage confidently and, you know, do my speech, but my speech is that fucking shit. I don't go anywhere. So I just do the class ones and that's it. When was the first time you got stitches? I have never ever got stitches before. I've never had, you know, any kind of injury. I've never broken a leg, broken anything, never been in the hospital besides, you know, when I was born, when my mom had my brother and sister, you know, all that. Other than that, I've never gone to the hospital for like an emergency reason for me. When was the first time you stayed up all night and watched the sunrise? The first time was probably around 13 years old. I used to always, this is when I was basically in year 8. I did my first all-nighter. I remember I was watching a TV series on my laptop and it was so good I couldn't fall asleep. I'm pretty sure it was Pretty Little Liars. I was watching season 1, had season 1, 2 and 3. And I watched all of season 1 for around 10 o'clock, from 6 to around 10. I'm pretty sure if that's correct. And then after that, my mom's like, go to bed. I'm like, yeah, sure. And because it was the ending was so good, I wanted to watch the second season. And I watched the second season, and then I had the first season, got so good, switched to all the third season, and I woke, and then I turned my laptop off and look outside. And then the sunrise comes up. And yeah, that was my first ever all-nighter. What was the first thing you learned to cook? The first thing I learned to cook was 2-minute noodles. Legit, that's the first thing I learned how to cook, and now I'm a pro at it because I've been doing it for many, many years. And yes, that's the first thing I learned how to cook. What was my first paying job? My first paying job was working for my dad. He worked with horses, so I work with horses. I used to work with him every afternoon, and I still work for him with this day. I get more money than I did when I was younger. And, you know, shoveling horse shit into a bucket, empty bucket, that's what you do. And yeah, that was my first job. When was the first time I flew on an aeroplane? The first time I flew on an aeroplane was when I was really, really young. I was probably not even 1 yet. I moved from New Zealand to Australia, and I've been in Australia ever since. Yeah, but I moved from New Zealand to Australia, and I don't remember it because I was like more than 1. But yeah, from when I was 1 year old, I had my first experience on a plane. What was the first concert I went to see? I've never been to a concert before, like a popular singer concert. I've been to like school recitals and stuff like that, but not an actual concert. What was my first bike like? I got a bike when I turned 12, when I was going to high school. I wanted to try my bike to school because I thought that was cool. But actually wasn't. I never got to ride it because I was getting it for my birthday. No, Christmas, and I got in really big trouble a couple of days before Christmas, so they decided not to get the bike for me because I didn't deserve it. But on my birthday I got the bike and I hardly rode it. Like, I never went to school on it because it was embarrassing. Because, yeah, it was embarrassing because I didn't want to ride it. When was the first time you shot a gun? I've never ever in my life shot a gun. Honestly, I want a gun just for protection when I'm older, but you know, I'm not going to go shooting random people. When was the first time I moved houses? The first time I moved houses when I was really, really young, and I was from New Zealand to Australia, so I always had to move houses. But once when I can remember, we moved from this hotel thing to this big yellow house, and this is where me and my brother, my mum and dad stayed for 5 years. I remember living in that house, and then I remember moving from that house to this bigger house, which was Nawara Road, which is where I live around, and I lived in that house for 2 years. That's the only time I actually remember moving, and plus I moved to this house, but that's the only time I remember moving. When was the first time I threw a punch? I have never thrown a punch at someone besides my brother, because my brother's a little asshole. Besides him, I've never actually thrown a punch at anyone else. I don't believe in violence unless they piss me off like that little shit does. The casual. When was the first time I quit my job? I quit my job not long ago. I was working for one of my dad's friends at a stable, and I was getting 50 to work for only 3 hours on a Sunday morning. I was getting $50, which is really good money. Like 3 hours and you get $50. That's pretty good. But I was just doing that on Sundays just for 3 hours. Then my dad and like the boss got into a fight, and then they kind of like didn't put me on work as much, so I was only working like once every like 3 weeks. So I decided to quit, and yes, that was my first time quitting. What was the first professional sporting thing I went to? My first sporting event was when I was very young. My dad is a very big Tiger supporter. He goes for Tigers, he goes to all Tigers games and stuff. So I used to go with him and my brother and like the whole family, and would go and watch the football game. But I used to never play. I used to just sit there and just eat all the ice cream and hot dogs and corn dogs and stuff, because that was my favourite part. When was the first time I realised I was good at my job? I realised that I'm actually not good at my job. I always stuff up, but he can't find me because he's my dad, and he actually needs more. He needs me more than I need him. But I don't like doing it. I don't like horses. I think horses are fucking assholes. I know there's nice horses out there, it's just that I do not get along with them since I've been around them my whole life, and it's very annoying. So I'm not really good at that. First time I cut class, this was not really a class, but it was kind of like a day where we had lunch and then we had sport. And then me and my friends were talking, and we did not want to go to sport because sport was a pain in the bitch. We hated sport, like we just could not be bothered playing sport. So we decided, you know, that there's this area in the school where you can just sit and people can't see you, like none of the teachers can like won't look there, but you can still hide there. So we just sat there basically half the period, and then they opened the gates, so we decided to leave school early, and yeah, it was like the one thing, and I regretted it so much, and I'm telling like my mom and everything, but she didn't care. She said if I do it again then I'll be fucked, but at the time I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, I didn't have to do sport that day, so I didn't mind. How old were you when you had your first kiss? I have not had my first kiss yet. I'm waiting for a special someone to do that for me. Until then, I'm gonna be unkissable. When was the first time I went fishing? I've never ever gone fishing, never want to go fishing. I suck at it. I've seen people go fishing, but I've actually never been fishing myself. How old were you when you got your first computer? I got my first computer when I was probably 5 to 6. We had this laptop, like basically the same as this, but you know, mine's more in this generation. But at the time, it was pretty cool because you know, laptops were like weren't first coming out, but they were pretty expensive. We had one of those, and one time my dad was doing a bet and he lost, and he got really pissed off. He broke his phone, threw his phone, hit the screen, and the screen shattered. And back then you couldn't, it was very expensive to fix the screen. You're better off just buying a new laptop. But we end up hooking our laptop to a monitor, because we bought a monitor, like a cheap $100 monitor, and put it above there. So basically the laptop was open with its cracked screen, and you have the monitor there, and you just typing the monitor above it. So that's what my first computer was. And it was the first time I stood up for myself. If you watch my Oh No You Fucking Did video, I stood up to myself when someone was bullying me, and I did it in a bad way, but at least I stood up for myself. And yeah guys, that was my my first time video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe to get my videos out there, because you know, we really want to get our videos out there. Yes, it means so much, so Bye guys.